Here we go. Kayak number 1 coming off the car. We decided to check out a few lakes from John Bates' book, Wisconsin's Wild Lakes.
One side.
All right, so 2 kayaks and all this gear. We'll test out loading the gear before we portage.
I'm walking. I'm pulling the line.
So after unpacking our gear and loading it into the bags that we could easily portage, Brad went and moved the car up toward the Bittersweet parking lot near the highway. So here we go. This is what's this lake again? Pungo? Portis? I can't remember the name of this lake.
Or something like that.
Well, that's the name of your boat too.
Oh. I scooched in. I got dry feet.
Yahoo!
Well, we're finally on the water in 2025.
Yoo-hoo! Bittersweet State Natural Area. Here we go.
This is the first in a series of 4 lakes, wild lakes in John Bates' term. It looks pretty doggone pretty.
What a beautiful lake. It's pretty small from what I can see. And we're trying to find our campsite. Well, we were surprised to find that the campsite is marked. We weren't expecting that. We're all by ourselves in this beautiful place. Let's go paddling. Prong Lake in Bittersweet Lakes State Natural Area.
Nice clear water.
There's the other lake. Keep forgetting the names of the lakes.
I think it's Bittersweet. One of the two campsites on it. Bittersweet.
This is the Portage Trail. Pretty good trail. And nice enough area to get out with dry feet. Here are the remains of a sunken rowboat. So the beginning of Bittersweet Lake. This is the portage from Prong to Bittersweet.
Well, that was better than what you had there.
If you can make it over to here, it's probably a better put in. I tried putting in over there and I ended up stuck on a log for a bit. This lake has a little bit more brown color to it than Prong. The portage sign is crisscrossed paddles, which from far away look like a tent. I came across some other campers over there. Portaging kayaks, 330 feet from Bittersweet to Smith. We're coming from Bittersweet and entering into Smith. And here we go. Smith Lake. So unlike Quetico or even Sylvania, you can see the signs from a long way off. So as we get closer, we can see that the sign is indeed a tent. This is the first loon of our trip. Lunch is made up of some delicious 100% meat beef sticks, some white cheddar cheese, a yellow pepper and an onion from the co-op, and Triscuits. But where's the chocolate?
These meat sticks are from a meat store in Cumberland, Wisconsin.
Oh, is that where we were?
Yeah.
I'm trying to cut my meat stick in half with one hand. It's not easy.
Yeah, it's extracurricular. We bought these meat sticks so we didn't have to cut them.
That's true, but look at, I made a little sandwich. I don't think I can put my mouth around it. Let's see what happens. Needs a little more onion.
And we're on a campsite on Smith Lake.
Well, I don't think the camera will pick it up, but we have a loon on the water and an eagle on the shoreline. And while we were eating lunch, we heard some yipping. Didn't get my camera turned on early enough, but we just saw two eagles locking talons. Oh, that's a dog. There might be a hiking path back there because there's no private property around here. There's some beautiful big old trees here. According to John Bates' book, there are some hemlock and yellow birches in an old growth forest northwest of Smith Lake and west of Oberlin Lake. We got turtles on the log. There they are, hanging out in the sun. Probably going on 3 o'clock. We're probably right in the middle of the warmest 2 hours of the day, and it's 53 degrees. Last night it got down to 29. Meandering paddle back there to work on getting the can out of the water. There he is. He had to dig it up with his paddle until he could get it where he could reach it. Nice sandy landing. Tying up the boat. So this is one of the campsites on Bittersweet Lake that we just stopped and visited for a moment. And there's another can in the water. Brad's gonna have to go dig out. Oh man. If you bring it in, take it out. So this is the lake where John Bates said, if possible, don't park in the parking lot because it's really nice to be paddling these wild lakes and not see cars. So one way to do it would be to drive down here, unload your gear, and then take your car back up the road a little bit out of sight. It's not required, by no means. There is a parking spot here. It just would be a way to be considerate of other people's wild experiences. So I was just enjoying the view while Brad talked with an older couple on the shoreline who have been paddling these lakes for 15 years. So there was a whole bunch of ducks over here. I didn't get my camera going because they were so far away. And then all of a sudden the wood ducks flew up in the air, circled around the bay, and flew by me, maybe 7 feet away. And here's the other ducks. Lily pads. Is that a dragonfly?
You got stuck.
There's our tent. You can see it from pretty far. There's our tent on prong. So there are two schools of thought when purchasing a tent. One would be, do you buy a tent that blends in with the landscape around you so that you can be more part of nature? Or do you buy a tent that's bright tarp that's brightly colored,
Fill up your bottle.
so that if you need to be rescued, you have a big, ginormous flag to let somebody know where you are. Tell me, what do you think? So another thing to think about is safety. So wear your life jacket. There was so much wood laying around here, dead and down only, of course, that Brad made this ginormous pile. So whoever camps here next will have wood right away when they arrive, which is always a really nice thing. It happened to us when we came here. There were maybe 5 or 6 pieces of wood. We had an owl last night, a turkey early this morning, and now a pileated is visiting our site. I forgot to show you our food before we ate it all. Anyway, we have this delicious granola that we had for our breakfasts, and powdered milk. And then, there's some more powdered milk. We had too much powdered milk. And these are some green, super greens drink and some little fruit bars. So we'll probably have that with our lunch. And then we have coffee and too much tea. That's normal. A little bit of chocolate that Brad adds to his coffee, and this morning I'm going to have a cup of hot chocolate. And then this is also part of our lunch, the tuna with cheese and what's left of onion and some Triscuits. And then our dinners were in here. So we had burrito bowl the first night and chili the second night. And there's enough leftover little things to nourish us just a little bit if we would have got stuck for another night. Anyway, that's our food. Let me tell you about the onion. Bring tiny onions that you can eat up all at once, because a cut onion really smells. Even though I triple bagged it, we could still smell it. So if you're going to bring fresh onions in, which we always do, bring the smallest size you can and eat it all up at once. All of our garbage gets collected, and because we dehydrate our own meals, we don't have a ton of garbage. So all of our garbage, even if you can see in here, even the onion peels and the inside of the yellow pepper that we ate. And then I put the smelliest foods in a plastic bag, in a Ziploc bag, in a dry bag. And I know they make OPSAC bags that are odor-proof bags. Then it all goes into an Ursack. That's our food situation.
little froggy, a dead white froggy underwater.
Ew.
Two, lots of bald eagles, but two of them were messing around in the sky.
Dragonflies mating.
Dragonflies. Karen saw a loon. I never saw it, but
You never saw it?
no, maybe my sight is leaving me.
Oh, you were busy.
Let's see, what else?
Turtles
Turtles.
sunning themselves on the
One
branches.
really showed off his red or his orange underbelly. Impressive.
Lots of different little songbirds, and one this morning, so beautiful. I am not sure what it was, and I want to look up the sound and see if I can figure it out.
Well, thrush might have been a good guess if they're here.
Thrush, yeah. Then we had owl. Both nights we had owls, and we had a turkey.
Turkey.
Early in the morning, like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Crows or ravens.
Yeah, and then the pileated woodpecker.
Heard them all the time, but
Yeah.
I never saw one.
Yeah.
A couple chickadees flew through our camp.
And I saw things coming up to the surface of the water, so probably fish. We never saw otters, and that was a goal of mine. We saw signs of otters. Anyway, good couple of days here. Camp is all cleaned up. This is where our tent was. We doused the fire several times. Left a pile of wood for the next person. And we're ready to launch.
Pretty smooth. We got glass out there.
I hear a ruffed grouse.
Prong.
If you're interested in our gear list, I'd be happy to share that with you.
Tidy-bidey.
Kayaking is definitely more work than canoeing when it comes to portaging.